Um, right now, November is the biggest art selling month of the year. Pretty much always is. More art and photography will be sold this month directly via websites, inline art shows. Take your pick. Black Friday, Cyber Monday are two of the biggest e-commerce holidays that the United States has. Thanks to COVID, essentially 10 years of normal e-commerce growth, e-commerce percentage of transactions as a total percentage. So let's just say of all the transactions, some are retail, some are e-commerce, right? And there was a percentage that compromised retail sales, and there was a percentage that compromised e-commerce sales. And COVID essentially ushered in 10 years worth of e-commerce penetration as a percentage growth in 7 weeks. And it doesn't look like we're going back to the good old days. I mean, I think these changes are here to stay. So it is an absolutely fantastic time of year to be contemplating how to take your business seriously. And I already know most of you don't do anything. You let Q4 come and go, right? You don't have a sale for Black Friday. You don't have a sale for Cyber Monday. You haven't done any marketing ahead of time. You don't let people know you exist. You haven't been working on your marketing consistently. And what I'm telling you is if you came to this session in March, I wouldn't be saying any of this. But it's November, and November is a big deal. And December is also a big deal. And so, if you like, to take it out of art sales, if we were all just humble fishermen, right now is when all the fish are right off the coast. All we have to do is get in the boat and go out there and put a line in the water. Okay, that's the analogy. This is the one time to do it. There's actually fish in there. I can confirm. We've been running, every week I look at the total sales volume that's been transacted on our platform, all the various different websites. And last week was the biggest week we've ever had in the entire history of the company. Full stop. Like massive growth over the last year. And a lot of those stats that I'm rattling off are just indicative of the time of year. It's not anything else. Like, don't get me wrong. We teach our customers how to market and how to run sales, and that's awesome. And it's helping them when they're growing. But it's also the biggest art selling time of the year. Okay. So my one takeaway is planting the seed. Okay. Number 2, whatever other nonsense you're working on, throw it out the window. This is the time right now, ahead of Black Friday and Cyber Monday, to take the art selling portion of your creative business seriously. Okay, take it seriously. And don't take that as some sort of cynical sales pitch from me. I don't care if you sign up or not. Just understand that this is the month, right? I get 1 month a year to seriously bang the drum. And what we see traditionally, just for some context, is sales as compared to the months previous, okay? And you could even say a rolling average of all the rest of the months of the year. Sales double in the month of October. That's already in the books. Sales triple in the month of November, and that's largely at the tail end of the month here. And then December is a 1.5 multiple. So doubles, triples, goes back to a 1.5 multiple. I've been doing this for a long time now. So not only am I saying this, I'm saying this to say, do you know what's crazy about these last 3 months of the year? Turns out they come up one time a year. Year after year after year after year. It is not going to change. It is one of the most important times that you guys can be working on attempting to sell your creative talents. And, how do you get there? How do you get to Carnegie Hall? Practice, right? You guys all need to learn how to run sales. You need to learn how to contemplate the discounts. You need to learn how to tease a sale, how to announce a sale, what to do before, during, and after a sale to get the most ROI out of them. And I realize for some of you, it's like, Patrick, I've never run a sale. I don't have any damn idea what I'm doing. I don't even have that much of an audience. I have 3 people on my email list because I've never started marketing. The only people that reads my emails are my mom. So I get that for many of you. I get that. All right. That's part and parcel of the thing. But understand that you're attempting to build up some muscles that you're going to be using every single solitary year for the rest of your art creating lives, which, as I found out from running these sessions for years and years and years, is the rest of your lives. So anyway, I have to mention that. Okay. It's a little bit ranty and pedantic on my part, but I'm serious. It's a big deal. So now we open it up to Q&A. Okay. If you are one of the brave ones like Kathy and Viana and David and Jeff, you can do the old school hand raise if you've got a question. I'll see that, okay? For the rest of you, at the bottom of Zoom, there is this like little reactions smiley face looking thing with a plus on it. You can click that. It's on your phone. It's wherever you are. and you can click raise hand, right? And that will allow you to digitally raise your hand. And it's like, that lets me know, hey, you've got a question. And then I can unmute you and bring you in, and you can ask whatever question you like. If you're on camera, fantastic. I love you. You're brave. You're beautiful people. If you're terrified of being on camera, I totally get that. I hate being on camera. You can just ask via audio. You can throw your questions in the chat. That's totally legit too. And I can answer those as well. So what I usually do is just pick on the people that I can see on video. So Jeff, as long as you're not driving, you have any questions, you can certainly ask. David, Viana, and I hope I'm saying it right if it's Viana. Do any of you guys have a question? Just one of you raise your hands. Somebody's got to go first and break the ice. I need a brave one. Okay, I'm looking for someone brave today. Who wants to step up? Oh, Kathy was first. Kathy was first. I appreciate that, Kathy. I appreciate that temerity, okay?
Good. On the live stream.
Yes, live art shows, yes.
That be for?
Rule number 1, do one. Rule number 2, everything else. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I don't care if you make it about one piece. I don't care if you make it just about that piece behind you and call it a flash sale, and you normally sell prints for 500 and you've got prints for 250. That can be the end of the show and end it. The point is that, you know, when you've never run one before, there's all this stress and apprehension and what camera do I need to use and how do I handle my audio and do I have the bandwidth and and then all of that gets in your head and it derails you from actually doing the thing. What I see with me, I'm like 16 years down the road right now, or maybe 5 years down the road. You're going to be running thousands of them, so it doesn't matter. Run short ones, run long ones, run ones that are in between, run all sorts of ones. And also too, you're totally bound to completely screw up on your first couple. Those are just the rules of the road and how it goes. And I screen shared this. I mean, I've got to screen share this because honestly, it makes me laugh so hard. And April 1, I don't even know if you saw this, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to play it. You know what, Juan? I want you to queue up on here where it is. Okay. So this lovely couple, and they are so amazing together,
All right? Let's warm up the audience. Here we are. Welcome to the Dawn and Bob Davis show.
Totally their first show, right? They'd never run one before at all. So, and this is one of the advantages photographers have because they always tend to have these fancy cameras with SLRs and everything else. But his wife is on the wireless mic and he's on the wireless mic. And in the middle of the show, she goes and takes a phone call and goes all the way to a room in the back. And she's totally having a conversation with this person on the phone while he's doing the show. So the point is that you're gonna run into all these kind of snafus when you run one. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Just run one.
Is there a tutorial that we can watch before we attempt to do our first
Well,
one?
that depends, Kathy. Are you asking nicely?
Huh?
Are you asking nicely?
Yes, please.
Okay, then I will send you one. Actually, I have it here somewhere. A while back I wanted to do like a huge contest because it's the biggest challenge I have in these live art shows, believe it or not, is actually motivating people enough to get out of their own way to do it, right? Because let's be honest, I know it's terrifying. Okay, we all know it's terrifying. We all know nobody wants to be on video. But I'm going to send you a guide right there that I don't send everyone. I haven't even published that thing, Kathy. Why? Because you asked. It's in there in the chat.
So I copy that?
I would, yeah. We'll email it to you after the fact too. But what I would do is I would just click on it, leave it open in a browser, and then you can watch it after the fact.
Figure that out.
Yeah.
How do I get into the chat to copy it?
Yep. You'll find it at the bottom. Yep. And I don't send out any of these like little lightweight guides that you might get somewhere else. Okay. You're going to be stuck with my ugly face teaching you every single solitary part of it from root to shoot. I mean, I have the quick start guide, right? The future of selling art, selling one-to-one, selling one-to-many, the results that we're seeing, live art show examples, edits of their particular shows, their actual social media followers, what revenue they did on their first shows. You can go and watch their shows if you left the page and you were creative with YouTube. I love this one. And this is what you're all going to be saying after you run your first one. Of course, I had audio.
I did my first live show last night, and I went really, really great. And I was hesitant at first, but...
Hesitant at first? Anyone hesitant out there? Don't even start with me, okay? I already know.
Exciting.
I already know.
It was great, and Patrick helped me out tremendously.
I helped him out a little bit.
I just want to give everyone a little encouragement.
Okay, so look up at his results. His first show. Never run one before in his entire life. was scared, doesn't like being on. That's not true. He kind of does like being on camera. He's a good looking dude. But one show, 14 pieces, $2,200. And 4,900 Facebook fans, 4,500 Instagram followers. What else do I have on here? What else do I? Okay, so I have all the reasons why the live shows are awesome, and then I have the guide. You have to put your email address in here to get the guide. Don't worry about that. I already have your email address anyway. You're on the Zoom. All right. But the whole thing walks you through step to finish. And then look at my satisfaction guarantee on this. This is just so in keeping with. If you opt in and get the guide, which is completely free, by the way, and for any reason you do not feel 100% more likely to run a live art show this week, okay, Viana, I'm looking at you this week, then you can rest assured you are completely covered by our satisfaction guarantee. You can formally write out a complaint to our complaint department, and we'll drive to your house and run the live art show for you. So there you go. I mean, with that kind of a guarantee, I don't know how you can't not run one. And I want an email after yours is done. Deal? Deal, Kathy?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Good. Do you have other questions?
No, not right now.
Not right now. You can raise your hand again if you do. Thanks, Kathy. We had Jeff. I know he had his hand up next. Did we lose him? Jeff, are you still there? Oh, there. He's still there. And you'll just have to, you're on your cell phone, it looks like, Jeff, I assume, because you're in the car. You're going to have to find that unmute button. It's okay. Like, yeah, gotcha. How you doing?
You hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
Oh, I'm doing fine. I am kind of stunned. I just kind of heard about you 15 minutes ago. So I said, well, let me turn in and Zoom and see what it's about.
Oh,
I've learned an awful lot.
Oh, wonderful.
But I'm really interested. I currently don't have a website now. So I was going to talk to you guys about that. But the approach and everything, I haven't been an artist for a while, but I have no significant marketing activities,
Oh, I wouldn't worry about that, Jeff. You're not alone in that department. Let me tell you, that's half the people on this call.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm kind of just following, just starting, and I'm enthused about it, so.
Wonderful. When you say you just learned about us, how did you find us? Just out of curiosity.
Actually, there's a friend of mine who had an art show in Los Angeles, and I went there, and then he had an art. And I bought a piece from him that day, and then he sent me a receipt the same evening, and it had you guys' information on it. And I said, "Wow, that was fast!" The receipt and everything is very professional. So I looked at your site, and I just kind of spent on about a few minutes on it, but I want to look at it more. Yeah. And then I signed up for this, so I'm a real novice right now, but I've done a lot of the stuff in terms of printing and getting stuff out. But you guys do the whole thing,
We do.
And you. So anyway,
who is the artist in LA?
Jim Chitty.
Jim Chitty, okay.
Jim Chitty, yeah, he had a nice show and he had a nice website, so I could like to do something like that. And I kind of told him about art.
Yeah.
So it's spreading.
I love that you're supporting your buddy too.
Yeah.
Buying some of his work.
He was a kind of a little bit of a salesman, He'd say, "Well, let me show you a couple of items." The next thing I know, he's showing me the frames and different things, and nice. So that was good, but I could do that,
Yeah.
So I don't know if I had a question. I guess
that's okay. That's okay. You're just learning as long as you're not driving and watching. No driving and watching.
Yeah, I'm still in my car. I haven't gotten out yet. But, I'll wait till you finish.
All right. Well, wonderful. Thanks, Jeff.
Okay.
Appreciate it. All right. Next up will be Rick, and then we'll get Angela. Go ahead, Rick. Nice to see you again, buddy. How you doing?
Good to see you again as well, Patrick. I talked this morning with one of your colleagues after listening to your presentation here over the weekend. I got really interested. It seems like a great fit. Yeah. What you're describing right now, today in this session, is this really part of the support package that's available to us if we have a relationship with you guys?
Yeah, we have like multiple of these that run internally just for customers on a weekly basis. We call them office hours, and some of them are marketing related, and some of them exist when you're just getting started to get everything up off the ground and your initial marketing initiatives in the water. And then some of them are like one-off. Like we had a huge summit before Q4. We had a huge summit before we released a bunch of like merch products. So we run them on a regular basis, and it's what's needed. It's what's needed, right? Like you guys all need to learn marketing, right? And this is a super interesting thing that's taking place right now in the industry, independent of ours. And we sort of figured this out. We sort of figured this out on our own, just through experimentation. Not like that we're awesome or anything, but phase one of this whole, hey, I need to learn something. I'm no longer in school. How do I learn it? Phase one was Kajabi and Masterclass and lynda.com and all these various learning sites that popped up that'll sell you a course on how to learn how to run Facebook ads, right? And some of those companies got huge. They got huge investments. They did fantastic. And then the data started coming out. And what did the data say? 25 to 35% of the people that buy the courses actually finish them, right? And it's not because when you buy a book that's crappy and you put it down, you didn't finish it. It's great. It's really hard to learn that skill. It took me to like my late 30s to be able to do that. And the problem, you can't learn in a vacuum. You can't learn in a vacuum. And so the new buzzword in sort of like the tech community is what they call cohort-based learning, okay? Fancy way of saying, here's the classes, go take them, and then we're going to jump into live sessions, okay, with a group of your peers and all learn about them at the same time, right? So we go over all the marketing advice. We talk about various different things, and then people come on, say what their issues are. And, it's almost like talk radio for artists that are all trying to, and artists and photographers that are all trying to build their business and get better. And there's something that's so damn powerful about going through. You can put your hand down, Kathy, I see it. There's something so powerful about going through the whole journey in person with other people, and instructors, right? Because you just all learn and feed off one another. And it's been like a massive game changer that we sort of discovered accidentally as a business, because we hadn't run any of these sessions right when the pandemic started. We started doing them, and it's like, our NPS Net Promoter Score, it's the way as a tech company you measure the overall happiness with your brand, has never been higher. And it's just because there's these classes. People tune in, they can watch the replays, they can ask their questions, and it really helps them move down the line. So that's what I'd say.
Good, thanks.
Yep, they'll show you all that too.
Yeah.
Okay. Next up is Angela, and then I'll go Susan, and then Kathy, I'll come back to you.
Hey.
Hey.
I just found you guys a couple days ago too.
Whoa. How'd you find us?
I think it was a Facebook ad, Facebook or Instagram.
Yeah.
I'm just starting out. I currently have a store that I just launched at the end of September in Etsy.
Mm-hmm.
Not going the best, but I still haven't got a consult. I've been requesting consults. I was expecting a phone call, so I was like, "What's going on?"
From us, yeah. We'll find out. We've been the October starts, and we're just understaffed every year. There's nothing we can do in terms of getting back to everyone on the phone. It just turns into a crazy house. So that's what it's been. And we had one guy with a health issue, so we've been a little short staffed, which is probably what it is. But we'll find sometimes too when you submit the forms, things go a little bit wonky. But we'll track you down and make sure somebody calls you.
Yeah, because I have a lot of stuff that I'm just accumulating, and I was like, I need to get rid of this stuff. I need to sell it.
You definitely do. You definitely need to run a live art show.
How do you start? How much does it cost? I'm trying to figure all that out. I want to get started. I'm excited. I don't know what I'm doing on my end, so I'm need something.
Important question. Have you sold the art? Now I need serious full disclosure here, Angela. 2 people not named mom, dad, brother, sister, family, friends, i.e. 2 strangers. No. So we need we need to cross that divide first. Okay. And April's going to put a link into the chat, and I want you to click on it and keep it, which is the art validation playbook. And it's so important because every single solitary person on this call has a marketing problem, but you can't have the marketing problem until you figure out, does the world want the art that I'm putting out? Okay. And that's where you have to be able to sell it to people not named mom, dad, brothers. It's the art validation strategy. How to tell if your work will sell. Okay. And it essentially, we're mostly out of COVID craziness now, so you can still get into in-person venues, a local art fair, a craft show, a farmer's market, wherever you can get a booth. That's the quickest way to do it. You set up in the booth with your pieces, you sit there for as long as the booth's open, and you have talks with a bunch of strangers, and you see if the work sells. If the work sells, you're in business. If not, you might need to pivot and try some new things. And, as human beings early on in this process, everyone thinks that, okay, I got to sell this work. I got to sell this work. Let me go and try and sell this work. And let's just say that you take it to market and it doesn't sell. And people are like, nah, I'm not really interested. I'm not really interested in that. As a human being, your natural tendency is to like take that as a criticism and be like, oh my gosh, I must just suck at this. It must be just a hobby. I'm going to quit. Right. But Pablo Picasso, when he died, had 45,000 unsold works in his inventory. What do you think that guy was doing? He was firing arrows all the time, and sometimes he missed the target completely, but he kept his head down and he kept creating and creating and creating. My fear for you is the same thing I say to anyone that has not sold to strangers yet is, let's say you go to a local showroom there and you sit down and you're talking and people are coming in and they kind of like your style, but they don't like what you're working on. And they're like, nah, I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. But you know what? I would hire you for a commission to do this. Next thing you know, you do the commission and you give it to him. And it wasn't something that you normally create. It's something that he wanted, a customer wanted. And then the next thing you know, his friends start seeing it. And the next thing you know, you've discovered your new style. To do that in the real world is very, very short. To do that digitally speaking, not so, right? Like when you get a website up and then you start working on your social media marketing, you're uploading stuff to Etsy and you're kind of working slow at it. You don't get the feedback instantaneously. So there's nothing better than the in-person. Or if you've got a good Facebook or Instagram follower, you turn this thing on. Hey guys, I'm trying to launch my live art show business. It's me, Angela. Never mind, live art show. I'm trying to launch my art business, okay, and formally get going. I've got a bunch of pieces, okay? My significant other said if I don't start getting this stuff out of the house, they're going to kill me. So special deal on everything. It's all got to go, right? That's it. You could do that today. I'm not getting a lot of enthusiasm out of you, Angela. You could do that today. You could do it today.
I don't know. I'm not big on social media. So I think that's another problem I face too, is I'm trying to jump outside my comfort zone when it comes to social media too. So I'm not confident social media person. I don't. Yeah. So I have to break that cycle.
Oh, 100% you do. If you wouldn't care about this, but if you wound the clocks back to pre-COVID, I've been running the marketing department here for like 7 years. If you wound the clocks back to pre-COVID, okay, anything March, whatever the date was, do you know how many times you would have seen me on video?
Like zero.
I challenge you to find it, okay? I hate it. I'm uncomfortable on video. I don't enjoy it. But I was contrarian enough to know if I want to be a competent and talented marketer, then I got to do it. So, do you want to be a good artist, a growing career? Yeah. Yeah, you do. So get over it. You got to start doing it. Yeah. That's where the support structure helps, right? Like you got to have a support structure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll have somebody call you too.
Cool.
All right. Thanks, Angela.
Thank you.
All right, Susan, you're up next, and then Kathy will swing back to you. Go ahead, Susan. And you'll need to unmute Susan. I'll let you know when you get it. Mic icon, bottom left. Are you there, Susan? Yes? No? All right, Susan, I'm going to leave your thing unmuted. We'll circle back to Kathy, and then I'll come back to you if you get it unmuted. Okay. And then David, I see you too. Where's Kathy? All right, Kathy, you have to unmute again. Go ahead.
Okay, so I have just talked with my associate and gotten the green light to go ahead with you. And so I want to know, is there a step-by-step or someone that's going to mentor me on how to get everything going?
Oh yeah. We have like a crazy onboarding process where you go through this whole entire thing and all these tricks that we have and marketing initiatives, and then you're just right into normal marketing. You're onboarding
my website.
Yeah.
I have it now, but I want to set up and use the storefront.
Yes. And right now, anybody that signs up right now, the marching orders will be a little bit different, just based on the fact that Black Friday and Cyber Monday is coming. So you need to get that website live like immediately, and then immediately start working on the pre-marketing, and then get that initial sale in the water ahead of Black Friday. But we'll teach you how to do all that. Did you already request a demo and already did all that?
Yeah, I already did all that.
Okay.
And I told Brian I got the go on it, so I'm waiting for him to get back to me.
Okay.
So
we'll make sure he calls you. Just understand that this is the frantic time. You gotta get live immediately. Like I want you live in like 7 days or less. You know what you have to do? Upload your logo, upload the pieces, title them, price them, throw in about me section, and then right into the sale. You can get it done in less than a week.
Okay.
Welcome aboard.
Okay.
Okay, David, you're up next. Go ahead, David.
Hi.
Hi.
I guess I was trying to get a sense of the overall process. A lot of this information is great, but I guess you do a lot of the printing.
Yes.
There, and just listening to some people, it sounds like there are people that already have a site that they sell from. So are there opportunities to blend that, or is it all under your umbrella? Just if I can get just sort of a broader picture of.
Yeah. So, we're utterly, totally, and completely flexible, right, on how you do things. Now, we have certain directives on how we think you should do things, and we strongly encourage you to do them that way. But of course, you have all the options, right? Because with us, the artist owns absolutely everything. Now, in terms of using an existing website, most people are here because that website is not doing anything for them. And so do I want them to keep it? No, I don't. I want them to take the URL, wherever they were pointing it to, and then point it to their art storefronts installation, right? Now, that's for most people. That's a catch-all. But there's other circumstances that come up where it makes it a little bit stickier, i.e., I'm a service-based photographer that also has my fine art on my service-based site, right? And I still need to have my service-based site. Let's say I'm a wildlife photographer, or this one or that one. Like, okay, well, in that case, then you very well might want to keep that old site and then put art storefronts on store. Right? So if you were David McCammon. Yeah. If you were davidmccammon.com, right, or davidmccammonphoto.com, then you might go store.davidmccammonphoto.com, right? And that's where your fine art store would be. That's important in some situations. The only time where I suggest caution is if for some reason, the artist in question has a site that is like actually performing, which is very, very rare, or is getting a ton of like search engine traffic or something. Because in that case, then we want to take a closer look at it. But otherwise, if the other site is not generating any business, and business is what you're attempting to generate, then why even worry about it, right? Yeah. And I can show too. It's always helpful to do the show and tell. So I just want to show you. So I've got my buddy here, and I'll just give you the Thorn instance. Where is it? It's loading. His name's Tim Lehman. He's like a huge like Nat Geo / he does the Birds of Paradise, Planet Earth, Netflix guy. And so, he's got a big brand preserve here, right? And he's got his projects and he's fine art and his motion stuff in his stock archive and wildlife. He's had the site forever. So in his case, he just put it on a completely separate site. He didn't even do a subdomain. So you can do it this way too. But I think unless you have something, a really compelling reason to keep the old one, don't keep the old one. And then in terms of the printing, we integrate with some of this guy's photos are amazing. Of course, I click on the one with the orangutan pissing. It's probably a little bit, well, it happens. It happens. It's nature. In terms of the printing, it's the same thing, right? Like we encourage you to integrate with one of our 2 print partners. We encourage you to do that because we don't want you working on the admin of it whatsoever at all, one bit. Like when an order comes in now, when you're integrated with us, order comes in, you get paid, printer gets paid, printer prints, printer boxes, printer slaps the logo on the side of your box, printer ships it, you touch nothing. You don't even have to send an email on any of that. Done. 100% automated. Like what Jeff was saying that he received early on, same thing. Like the system's just automated, does that entire thing. And do you know what you get to do with all that extra time? Work on solving the marketing problem, right? Not sending FedEx numbers or going down and looking at a print or this or that. So I think those integrations are super important.
So I guess if you sign up, which I did earlier, somebody will contact me and get pricing and just get a
you have to get the demo, and the demo is basically like it's a one-on-one Zoom that goes like an hour, and they show you all the bells and whistles, and they'll tailor it to you, and you can ask questions, and they know the numbers and all the rest of the stuff. Okay. We sort of use this session as a step before because that whole pyramid is so important, right? Fundamentally to like understand that's how we're going to do it. That's how we're going to agree with it. So okay, you don't have to do anything else. We'll make sure they follow up with you.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. All right, Susan, I don't know if we got you back or not. Are you there, Susan? Oh, good. You made it.
Hi.
Hey.
Okay. So I'm not going to be on screen. I'm not feeling 100% today, but I wanted to
no problem.
Just climb on and learn some of what this is about. And I do believe I'd gotten a call about at least a year ago from somebody there, and it does sound like a great, you know, company and what you offer.
Thank you.
So, and I did, you know, climb on late here. So can you just tell me kind of what your specials are? And I heard somebody say if you know, signed up or whatever, you get a call back. I'd like a call back.
Yeah, we'll have somebody call you. You're clearly already in the database. The thing to see, kind of like what I was telling David, is you have to see the demo next, right? Where you get like what I'm telling you is just the high level stuff. Then the demo shows you on a screen share all the nitty gritty of the software and the ins and outs and the back end and the front end and how to integrate with the printer and all the marketing help, and it shows you behind the curtain. So I think you take a look at that. They'll go over all the pricing, all the numbers, and then you can decide if it's a good bet for you.
Okay, and I take a look at that when?
They'll call you and just schedule a time that works for you.
Okay, perfect. Okay, yeah. And you have my number and stuff?
Yeah, we'll look right now, and if we called you a year ago, I would assume so. But Juan, will you just check and see if we've got her in the data? Okay, he says you're there. Put in the first 3 numbers of her area code and just get her to confirm it, just so there's no snafu. He'll tell you what it is. And if that's that, then we will call you again. And just to let people know, have we bothered you with a phone call since that time a year ago, Susan?
No, I maybe got 2 calls or, you know, but 3 calls at the most.
Okay, well that's even.
There's never been a bother.
Okay, good. But even 3 calls, that's actually, and you're at 970 area code, yeah? Yeah. We'll give you a call.
Okay, perfect.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
We used to send people to like the forum, like go fill out the form, and I'm like, why are we going filling out the form when we already have their information? Why would we just want to call them? It's so much nicer. All right, Scott, you're up next. Go ahead, Scott. Are you there, Scott? You'll need to unmute. Mic icon, Scott, bottom left-hand corner. Yep, gotcha.
Sorry.
No, all good.
Sorry.
Gotcha.
So I'm not a member yet, but I've gotten a lot of calls. I've done several demos. And one of the things that Patrick has not mentioned is, and I'm going to help him sell the service because I've done a lot of research on this, is for those people who are totally afraid of kind of the back end of a platform like this, they do offer a white glove service. You have to pay a little bit more, but if you want, you can pay for the service for them to do all the marketing for you forever. But it is a little bit more. It is a yearly price, but that is offered. So if you just want to focus on your artwork and have art storefronts do everything for you, you can do that. Is that correct, Patrick?
It is correct. The reason I don't like mentioning it, Scott, is because I should be mentioning it more, right? And I'm sure my outreach department would really appreciate me mentioning it more. The reason I don't like to mention it is if you owned a McDonald's, Scott, I would want you to know how to close and lock up the building. I would want you to know how to flip the fries. I would want you to know how to flip the burgers, to do the ordering, to operate the drive-through window. And I'm not saying you have to do any of that permanently, but I want you to know how to do it. At least, have spent a weekend on each of the stations or something, right? Because then when you do, I feel like you just have such a better hand at it, And so,
and I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
100%. I just know that because I'm in the technical, I build websites for a living, and I know I deal with customers all the time that are just so intimidated by technology.
I know.
Platforms and stuff, and I just wanted to throw out there that there is an option if you are totally terrified. That they can help you.
Yes.
For sure.
Yes.
And maybe, even if you just did it for the first year, then, with that hand holding, you can learn how to, fry the fries and work the drive-through and so forth.
Yep. And all of it. And also too, for us, we realized that, Pareto's law shows up everywhere for us, right? And so the 80-20 of our customer base, 80% have full-time jobs. Right, 20% are full-time artists, or they're like service-based photographers that have the service component of their business, and they're trying to grow like the fine art component of their business. And so you look at that bunch, and most of them aspirationally are like, I would like the side hustle to grow into something a little bit better and more consistent income. Or some I would like, when I retire, I want to have this thing humming, right? Or, I would like this eventually to replace my full-time job. So, okay, knowing that we, like Elon Musk, we all have something in common with Elon Musk, and it's the fact that we have 24 hours in a day. I love comparing myself to him in any way I can. Sometimes you just don't have the time to do the damn thing, right? You don't have the time to build the website. You don't have time to run the sale. You don't have the time to do the live art show and set everything up. And so we realize that we have to, at the very bottom, we have to provide the DIY best documentation, best everything that we can for you to run this on yourself without any additional investment whatsoever. At the very top, utterly, totally, and completely managed. And then in between, it like helps every once in a while to grab the a la carte stuff, right? Like, we have services in the agency. Well, they'll tune up your Instagram profile, right? They'll tune up your Facebook page. We will help you facilitate running a live art show, right? With all the software, all the bells and whistles, all the marketing things and everything else. We'll run your Facebook ads for you. So whether you need a little bit of help or a lot of help, I think it's really, really important to have that and just to be able to offer that, right? Because the hardest thing to do in this business is to go from 0 to 1, right? And almost everyone on this call is going from 0 to 1, meaning they haven't been capturing emails all year. They haven't been emailing the emails all year. They haven't been running sales at the important times of the year. They haven't been posting consistently to social media sites. None of them run live art shows, right? And so that first year when you're learning all of that, it's pulling your hair out of your head, right? For a lot of people too, especially like by and large, a lot of artists, a lot of photographers, not the most tech savvy folk. It's really, really hard to learn. There's a pain point. But man, when you crash through that pain point on the other side and you start getting into the momentum of year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5, you actually have something on your hands. You actually have a business that's growing year over year. So it's rewarding when you get through it. But I really appreciate you for saying that.
Yeah, the whole aspect that you guys provide a service on top of the website, that's kind of the game changer, because I just started my art career again like 18 months ago, and I've done okay. I've sold about $50,000 worth of artwork.
Dude, that puts you in the top. That puts you in the top 1%.
Oh wow! But I haven't marketed myself at all. It's all been just kind of cold calling, and I feel like this service, the service you provide as far as marketing, you're absolutely right. I mean, you could have the greatest product in the world, and if you don't know how to get it out to the people,
you got nothing.
It's just sit there.
The whole ball game is just attention. That's it. Currency of the land. And it sucks, right? It's not entirely fair, but it's so true. The best art doesn't necessarily win. It's the best art that gets seen wins.
Yep.
That's it. What kind of websites do you build, just out of curiosity?
I have my own personal website that is also, since I'm a graphic designer.
You're a graphic designer. Got it.
Site,
Yeah.
And I'm also on Saatchi.
Yeah. Gotcha.
But the difference between you and Saatchi is they don't, to my knowledge, they do very little marketing. I mean, sure, they come out with an annual every year and they promote, best of the month and things like that. Mm-hmm. But it's rare. I mean, you're like a drop in the Pacific Ocean.
Exactly.
Like there are so many artists on that site.
I know.
It's left up to the curators to choose whether you're part of either a show or an exhibit or something like that.
Yeah.
So they do marketing, but you're dealing with like 50 or 60,000 other artists.
It's the same with every single solitary one of them. And it doesn't matter if the curation is human done or if the curation is done by the algorithm. In either case, it's very, very difficult to survive there. But even more than that, the bigger problem is you don't have any damn idea who's buying your work. And if you don't know who's buying your work, you cannot market to them in the future. And if you can't market to them in the future, you're not building a collector list. And without a collector list, you're going to remain a commission salesperson. The collector list, like I said earlier, is what turns an artist into a commission salesperson to a commission salesperson with a base salary, right? It's the game changer in the entire thing. And there is a reason that no marketplace or no retail gallery tells you who the hell has purchased your work, because it is the single solitary most important thing.
Saatchi does. If they buy a one-off, like a limited edition print or a painting, like I have to produce all mine, so I get a sales slip, a shipping slip sent to me, so I know who I'm sending it to.
You get the email. You get the email address too.
Document of everybody that I've sold to.
Do you get the email address as well?
I don't get the email address. I get their phone number and name.
Phone number and name's better than nothing. But I'm surprised they even give you that. That's impressive.
I wish I had their email address.
No. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. We've got tricks for you there. But that's the whole point. Like, I'm surprised Saatchi does that, to be honest with you. I didn't know that. And so I appreciate getting that piece of education. But the whole point is, I find, and again, if you would have asked me this 4 years ago, I didn't have the reps and sets with my customers, not enough reps and sets with my customers to see. But, I'm seeing situations where the introduction of the new pieces is going down on Wednesday. And let's say there's 10 pieces in the show, right? And they email their collector list on a Sunday. And 30, 40, 50, 60, 70% of the entire collection is sold before it even goes to the public. Do you know how powerful that is? I mean, that is the difference between being a thriving artist and being a starting artist. And it is so important. And also too, like, running so many of these sessions, there are so many people that come on that have had storied careers, incredible careers, but they don't have any idea who purchased their work. And then COVID hit and they had nothing. Their gallery was closed. They couldn't do any local fairs and shows. And who could they market to? They've never had to market. They were leaving it up to the galleries, right? Or they were doing the shows and fairs. And so I find it to be a tenant-farmer relationship. A tenant-farmer.
I mean, and with the way that technology and the internet is,
don't need them anymore. Don't need them.
Yeah, you don't need a gallery anymore.
No,
I mean, you can market to so many more eyes online than you ever. I mean, you could market in 1 minute to more people than that gallery probably gets in a month.
Exactly right. And then too, the economics of a 50-50 split, like, it's a joke. It is an absolute joke, right? Like, you hear about all these artists that are doing well, right? And their gallery is selling 200,000, 300,000, 400,000, 500,000, 100,000. Like, let's just say 100,000. So your gallery sold $100,000 worth of your artwork based on a purchase price. Then you're going to keep 50,000 of it. Then out of the 50,000, you're going to have to subtract all the cost of your canvases, paint, supplies. Then what are you left with? You're not killing it. That's ridiculous. Right? You're not even getting enough ROI on the income. And by the way, the sheer number that are selling 100,000 in a gallery, if you took the numbers, it's like 4% of artists are at that level. So 4%, out of the 4%, there's a whole bunch that are selling 100,000 that are walking away with 40,000 before taxes. Like, that's not a living, right? That's ridiculous. And then you run your first live art show and you have a great show and you do 20,000 and you keep 100% of the 20,000 minus shipping. Like, different ball game entirely, right? Actually, when we talk about
I guess the Damien Hirsts of the world are like 0.00001%.
Have you not heard me rant on this? Do you know how hard you just teed me up? Oh, brother, you got me good. All right, hold on. He teed me up. I don't normally do this, but he teed me up. So let me just get it, and then I have to screen share. $12 million. I love this book, and I want more people to read it, because it's where I'm pulling a lot of these facts out of my head. So, okay, this is the book, all right? The $12 million Stuffed Shark, The Curious Case of Contemporary Art, of which Damien Hirst is all over it, right? It was written 10 years ago, okay? But, so you have to, like, adjust for inflation and all, whatever, all the rest of it. Mega interesting, okay? Mega interesting. This is the line that I pulled out of it. And by the way, just to put a bow on it, in that book, do you realize, Damien Hirst and the dots? Have you seen his dots?
Oh, yeah.
So he paints none of those. His understudies paint 100% of those. He did like the first two, and he hasn't done any since. And he since stopped doing the dots completely. But these dots sell for like $50,000, $60,000, $70,000, some ridiculous price. And he is such a gangster. Listen to this line. So you're telling me that I'm going to spend all this money on a piece from you that wasn't even done by you? And he goes, the work is created out of an assembly line. And I really like that. The ideas are all mine. They never will be. And that's how I do it. I'm like, that is just so gangster. Anyway, so, okay, look at this. All right. In artists by the numbers. And I mean, you know what? I'm going to read out the whole thing because I don't normally read out the whole thing. All right. And I quote, the art market looks pretty healthy from the standpoint of a branded artist represented by a branded dealer and okay from that of an artist represented by a mainstream gallery. What does the market look like from the standpoint of all non-represented artists or those selling through local or suburban galleries? Most of these artists see the high-priced art market only through magazines or gallery openings and in auction catalogs. There are approximately 40,000 artists resident in London and about the same number in New York City. Of the total of 80,000, 75 are superstar artists with seven-figure incomes, okay? 75 are superstar artists with seven-figure incomes. And that's essentially $1 million a year, 0.09% out of the 80,000, okay? Below those are 300 mature, successful artists who show with major galleries and earn six-figure incomes from their art, okay? On the next level down are about 5,000 artists who have some representation, most in a mainstream gallery, and who supplement their income through teaching, writing, or supported partners. So I look at that number, superstar $1 million a year plus artists, okay? 75 out of the 80,000, 0.09%. Mature six-figure plus artists, so anyone from, low six figures all the way up to 999,000, 0.38% of the 80,000. And then the next tier down, okay, that are under six figures is about 5,000. So 6.27, according to this book, 6.72%, okay, are earning something resembling an income, with the lion's share of that percentage, 6.25%, needing help from a sponsor or someone else, a significant other. And I look at that and I'm like, wow, is that astounding? And then what gives me great hope is I look at that, okay, and then I compare it to our customers. And do you know how many customers that we have are absolutely shattering those nonsense numbers? Like to think that you're going to be that small of a percentage in that damn book, less than 0.5% over six figures, and then that less than 0.5% is doing a 50-50 split. That's not a business. That is a tenant-farmer relationship. It's got to go away. Its days are done. Anyway, that's my rant on that whole thing. I think I lost Scott. Did I lose him? Maybe I did. I'm going to unmute you again, Scott. I don't know if you hit mute.
No, I'm still here.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, that's my rant on that. But I love that book, and I think it's super interesting. It goes into like a bunch of the nuts and bolts. But to your point, what threw me on that rant, notwithstanding the Damien Hirst comment, is like, given the internet, and I know you know about this because it's your business, like the art industry is having its Blockbuster Netflix moment. It's having its Uber taxi cab moment, right? Like it's just not needed anymore. It's having its MP3 CD moment. It's just not necessary anymore. You guys can go direct and keep all of that money and continue to grow a business year over year. Downside, you have to do marketing, which none of you want to do. And that's what we teach you. That's the ballgame. But I'm going to see you on the inside soon. I assume you're signing up?
I have a meeting with somebody to discuss that later this week.
Cool.
Yeah, I think that this platform is pretty amazing. I mean, I've talked to two artists that are six-figure artists. I reached out to them, and then they reached back to me, kind of explaining how it's been going. One is associated with many galleries. And he does this to supplement his art, but he says it's a no-brainer. And then the other one used to be a teacher, and she quit teaching and she does this full time, and it was all because of store art fronts.
Yep.
Art storefronts. Sorry.
That's all right. Forward, backwards works for me. Art storefronts, the fronts. Yeah, it's really hard to build a business, right? And you start getting momentum really year like 5, 6, 7. And I feel like we're finally in that point in time where like we're starting to do some damage now, right? We've got like a really good program, and we keep getting better year over year over year. So I'm excited about where we are.
Yeah, it's just making that initial investment.
Yep.
I think that's where a lot of people get cold feet.
Oh, 100%. Like, look, we realized early on, and then I promise I'll get to the other questions. He's got me written, but we realized early on that we would be out of business if we just offered a website solution. We would be out of business because artists don't have website problems. That's why most artists, most photographers, they try this website and they try that marketplace, and then they try another website, and then they do this website, and then they try something else, but they never stay anywhere because they've been sold a lie that somehow they have a website problem. You don't have a website problem. You have a marketing problem. And we realized that, and we realized the only way we're going to have successful customers that stick with us and don't go anywhere is if we make them successful. And the only way to make them successful is to teach them marketing and business. And so that's what all that fee goes to, right? And that's what sets us apart completely. I mean, the fee that you pay to sign up goes to pay for an army, myself and the army of my team that's going to teach you how to do this for the rest of your art selling life. That's what it is, right? And it's what completely differentiates us from everyone else. We're really a website plus like a postgraduate art business marketing university. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway,
Anywho.
yeah, good stuff. Hope to see you inside. And we'll put it that way.
Thank you.
Thanks, Scott. All right. Is it why? I think it's Viana. I'm going to just say Viana. I could be wrong, though, so just correct me. I don't know if the Y is silent or not.
It's Eviana.
Eviana. Doggone it. It's a beautiful name.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just starting out, and I have made my first sale to a stranger.
Wonderful.
Which is what's giving me some motivation. And but I don't know where to go from here. So, but I do have a lot of pieces that I've painted as well as things that I've taken photos of.
Let's start with how we made that sale. Where were you when it happened? How did it all go down?
I was getting my hair done.
Really?
You know, networking.
Yeah.
That was pretty much it. It was like a trade.
It was like a trade?
Yes.
So go back to that salon and tell them, hey, I would love to put all of my work up in this salon, as many pieces as you guys want to pick. If any of the hairdressers that are in here are working, sell one. I'll put you on 15% commission. Can we try it for a month? What do you think?
Okay. Awesome.
Call her today.
Okay.
That was like okay, Patrick, I'm going to call
No,
her
I will.
Because look, I guarantee you that salon doesn't have stuff as beautiful as your art on the walls. Like get it, that's a win-win for them.
Yeah.
And then not only that, let them know that like you can come down with all your pieces and they can pick, right? Because then some of them might be like, you know what, I like this one. I'm taking this one home with me. And then we might be up to 2 pieces. And that's how it starts.
Okay.
1 piece at a time.
Awesome. And so realistically, that was my other question, because a lot of my I guess confidence is going to come from setting realistic goals. I don't want to set myself up for failure mentally. So realistically, if once getting signed up after finding out the fees and stuff, how much that is, what are the chances of being successful by the time December hits? Or is it something that I have to wait a year in order to start seeing anything going? I'm basically just trying to get my art out there so I can
Yeah. And you're asking the crystal ball question, right? And so fundamentally underpinning the question you're asking is the notion that there's some sort of magical formula that works for every artist that determines ROI, right? And there's a whole bunch of different variations of this question that I get on a regular basis. And I know they're all nonsense because I hear them all, which is not saying your question is nonsense. But the premise is that there's some sort of magical formula of ROI, right, that will dictate your returns. And so there's your question. There's, hey, Patrick, what are the best-selling sizes? If I just know what the best-selling sizes are, and I put the best-selling sizes in my store to work. Or, hey, Patrick, what are the best-selling subject materials? If I just know what the best-selling subject materials are, and if I go and create those, then I'll be successful, right? Or it's like we post an ad, and it's talking about someone that had like a great first couple of weeks, and they sold $2,000 in a month, and everyone's like, let me go look at their website, and I'm going to study their website, and I'm going to get there. And the premise is just utterly, totally, and completely flawed, that there's some sort of magical formula that can dictate for success for everyone. It just doesn't work that way. And, some of the analogies that I give is like, we've got a guy on the platform. He has 1.1 million followers on Instagram. And we have a gal on the platform, and she has 5,000 followers on Instagram. The gal on the platform sells 50 times the amount of art the guy does. How the hell do you explain that, right? How the hell do you explain that? That doesn't make any sense. And there's all of these various different situations like that, where some people have a subject matter material that just hits home runs and they're great out of the gates. And some people come in with different marketing skill sets and do great. Some people struggle the entire first year. They just do. And you know what? That's part of their journey, and it's totally okay. Some people pay off the entire software investment in the first month, and that's how that it works for them. And some people fail. Some people fail. It's a very small percentage because they're the ones that quit. But, you know, there's just such a mixed bag in there. So anyone that tells you that there's some kind of magical formula or magical time for how long it's going to take to give you an ROI is lying to you. Okay, full stop, period. Run away from those people. All we're saying is that we stack the deck in your favor to the best of our ability, and we don't ever stop, right? So it's up to you from there. But for you, you know, one, I would do the salon thing immediately. Two, I would try to do a local fair show and talk to a bunch of strangers and put yourself in there and see what happens, right? And, you know, don't wait. Like, fine, research this weekend, but Monday morning I want you calling and booking the booth and saying, I'm going to do it. Psych yourself up to do it. And get in there and see if you sold to strangers. If you sold a bunch of your work to strangers, then you're in there. You're ready to go.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And I want an email. Let me know how it goes at the salon.
Okay.
All right. And make sure you put all of them on commission if they sell it for you, right? 15% commission. Don't even ask any questions. Boom. You just want to move the work, right? It's selling it to strangers. So, okay. That's what I would say. What else? Questions? Anyone else? Did I miss anyone? I can't remember. Oh, yeah. So there was a question here from Christy Nicholas. I had to step away for a second, so I'm not sure if I've been asked or not, but is there a marketing package? Yes, there is. Yeah. I see what you're saying. No, there's not, Christy. You would get the website. You would get the website too. You would obviously have the opportunity. She's gone already too, so I don't even know who I'm saying this to. I don't see her in here. Yeah. She was asking if she can keep her website and just get a marketing package. You get the website regardless, so whether you use it or you don't. But I certainly recommend that you do. It's fundamentally built into everything. So, all right, good session today. I think we leave it there. Appreciate you guys for spending some time with me on a Monday. I hope it was valuable. I hope you get some good takeaway things that you can work on. We'll send you an email with the presentation, the links, everything in there. Oh, you are still here, Christy. Okay. I lost you. I don't know where you were. I'm going to unmute you. Are you there? I'm going to unmute you, Crystal. You can come on.
Yeah, I'm here.
There we go. Okay, so did you hear what I said about why would it be that you would want to keep your website?
I just worked really hard on it.
I know.
So I like it.
I know.
And I was just curious if there was, because that's what drew me is really the marketing part.
Mm-hmm.
I think you said it earlier, like artists don't really have a website problem, but we don't have the marketing. And so I was just curious, like if there was like a la carte marketing package to purchase. That's all. For
sure. It's like, talking to so many of you guys over the years, it's like fears in order: death, taxes, setting up a new website. Terrifying, right? Nobody ever wants to do that. Like, especially when you work so hard on an old one. But again, the answer to the question is like, is that old website giving you the business results that you want? And it's not, right? So you don't need to keep it. I know it's hard. I know you're emotionally invested and you love it. It's like, it's like a comfortable old pair of shoes. It's like, I don't want to throw these things away. They're too comfortable. But if it's not working to get you the business results, you don't need it, right? Like you gotta get laser focused on where you're going. So that's what I would say. Yeah. All right. What else? Where was I? Somewhere in my rant. Can't remember. Yes. Okay. Glad you heard that. I can't even remember what I was saying. So we're going to send you all the links, the bells, the whistles, the things, the thises, the that's after the fact. If we said we would reach out, we will reach out. In addition to that, I can't remember if there's anything else. I don't know. It's a Monday. My brain's still foggy from the weekend. I think we'll leave it there, guys. Thank you. Thanks all of you. Good session. Enjoyed it. Let me know. And yeah, hope to